This is a back-to-school song. I wrote it for my daughter when she was in the 2nd grade, starting a new school. There's a school bus somewhere in the distance. There's a school bus somewhere. And while we wait, we run around, up and down, fast and fancy, hide and we're found. Hey, you can't catch me. Summer grew me tall in the blink of an eye. Summer grew me tall, and now there are new shoes to wear. Watch me run, watch me dancing, braids in my hair. I got luck, I've got candy. This year I'm golden. This year I'm in every game. The big kids are calling, yes, they're calling me, calling my name. This is my year, with all of the friends I've been looking for. Everything's big, but there's nothing I'm worried about. This is my year, I'll be the friend you've been looking for. Things might get tough, but there's nothing I'm worried about. I'm drawing hearts and stars and handing them out. Ask me what I like, I'm an artist. Ask me what I like, and I will draw you the world full of love, full of friendship, kind hands and beautiful eyes, realistic. Ask me what I wish, eternal wishes. Ask me what I wish, that the teacher will help me, and you'll stay my friend. This year I'm golden. This year I'm in every game. The big kids are calling, yes, they're calling me, calling my name. This is my year, with all of the friends I've been looking for. Everything's big, but there's nothing I'm worried about. This is my year, and I'll be the friend you've been looking for. Things might get tough, but there is nothing I'm worried about. I'm drawing hearts and stars, and I'm drawing hearts and rainbows and stars. I'm drawing hearts flying up with the stars, and I'm handing them out. Would you like one? You can sit by me.
You wrote that, right, Audrey? Yep, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't find you there. Take a moment with me if you guys are comfortable. Close your eyes, take a real deep, fast breath in, and let it out twice as slowly. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. I'm seeing all these beautiful faces, some strangers, some old friends of mine. It's so good to see each and every one of you. I am this morning's worship associate. My pronouns are he, his, and him. Good morning. Oh, the smiles, right? The smiles on these kids' faces. Whether you are here in person or y'all on Zoom, it's so good to see each and every one of you. I would like to welcome all the guests and visitors here in the congregation. There's a lady in the back. Her name is Juan Kim. There she is. She will answer any questions for you. If she can't find them, she will find someone who can. Please don't hold back. This morning's service is an all-ages welcome service celebrating our lifelong learning journey and the rhythm of the year that has many of our younger learners starting school once again. Is that good? You guys happy to go back to school?
I don't want to go.
You don't want to go back to school. Teachers, how do you feel about no? Well, even if we won't be going back to school, we can bring intention to our ongoing learning and growing, right? All right. We'll all be blessing our bags, school bags, work bags, backpack bags, library totes, purses, laptop cases, whatever bag you want blessed, we're going to do it today. Note that if you have a child 6 months to 5 years and need care of a nursery's downstairs and across the way, please feel free. Now it's time to greet one another. Everybody here in the room, see that little camera over there? Let's look over to that camera and wave. Tell everybody you love them. Hello. So good to see you. And now it's people's turn who are on Zoom. There they are. Hello, everyone. Look at the screen, folks. Oh, that's a beautiful sight. Faces or no, it's so wonderful knowing that you guys are here visiting and watching. Let's see. And now, one of my favorite times of the service, it's time to find someone to greet. Now with COVID, it's up to you if you want to hug, if you want to pound, if you want to just wave, that's totally fine. Y'all on Zoom, reach out, type to someone. When you hear the music start to play in a moment, we're going to sing hymn number 354. But for the time being, let's roam around and say hi.
So let's all return to our seats with sing number 354. We laugh, we cry, we live, we die. Sing our song. There it is. We need to feel the something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the strength of love, and we have found our joy doing together. And in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer.
Life, this new day, reminds us how we are all still learning, still studying with more or less seriousness the beauty and hope of this life, still refusing to concede the right to practice joy in the face of loss, laughter in the midst of grief, surrender even while we are afraid. It is tender teaching we are after, an opening of the human heart that we might still love more of this world courageously, and then still more. Come, let us worship together. I now invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as Brian lights our flaming chalice, symbol of our free faith. Please join me in the words on the screen. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring and guide us in the ways of truth. As we gather here for worship, we pledge ourselves to the endless search for truth, to the right of each to believe as mind, heart, and conscience dictate, to accept the responsibilities this freedom commands, and to implement our belief in the essential worth and dignity of every human being. Won't you please be seated as we join in singing our chalice lighting song?
Kindle a spark, fragile, full of power. Hold it in your hand, hold it in your heart. Let it warm you, let it fire your spirit. Let it burn bright, let it burn bright in your soul. Kindle a spark, fragile, full of power. Hold it in your hand, hold it in your
Now, I don't know that it happened this way, but I do know that it's true. That long ago and far away, or maybe recently and quite nearby, a gnome family was renovating their house. Have any of you been part of a renovation? Or any work on your house at all where you had to, not yet? Oh, I'm hearing some no's. I'm jealous. right? It's a lot of work and frustration, yeah? And sometimes, somehow, it always seems to be a bigger, more expensive, more frustrating project than you expected. All right, are you ready, singing gnome? Let's do it. Okay, so that's definitely what this family was finding. First off, renovation meant they had to tidy up and move everything around, put things into storage. Why, they had to renovate, bring in an entire extra log just to hold all of the things they needed to put into storage. So much stuff to deal with, right? All of it heavy and annoying, all the Christmas decorations and the books and the chairs and the tables, and their teeny tiny foosball table even went into storage. All of it heavy and annoying, and at one point, one of the parent gnomes threw their hands in the air and declared that they hated this. This is horrible. Their co-parent gnome came over and hugged them. He looked at his partner and smiled and sang quietly,
Hard is not the same as horrible. We will make it through. We will make it through, my darling love. We will make it through.
They laughed and sighed and got up together and went looking for a snack. Things tend to feel better after a snack, right?
Amen.
But of course, with part of their gnome home under renovation, under construction, that meant everyone was crammed in really tight. The teenager gnome was stuck sharing space with all of the little kid gnomes. It got noisy. They could hardly hear themselves think. Ah, cried the teenager gnome, this is terrible. Grandfather gnome heard and took the teenager gnome out for a walk and said, I know it's a lot right now, but I'm so glad the little kids have you to share space with you. They look up to you so much. Kiddo, remember.
Tough is not the same as terrible. We can make it through. We can make it through, my darling love. We can make it through.
And the teenager gnome sighed, for they really did love spending time with the littler gnomes, and hugged their grandpa gnome and asked if maybe they could keep walking for a while, though, because it was nice to take a break outside. And of course, the renovations themselves were a whole other stressful thing. At one point, the gnome in charge of all the renovating got so frustrated she threw her hat on the ground. One of the youngest gnomes ran up to her and took her hand, and looking up into her face, sang,
Hard is not the same as horrible. We will make it through. We will make it through, my darling love. We will make it through.
The gnome in charge sighed and said, Yes, little one, I love you too. You think I need a nap? Yeah. Nap time, everyone! And the frustrated gnomes put down their tiny hammers and various adorable construction equipment, and everyone took a breath and a break. And you know, after a nap, they were able to remember again that they were loved and they could do hard things. And eventually all the renovations were finished, but not yet. And still, it was not horrible. So this is a story about forest gnomes, but I have another fun thing we're going to do this year. I have something from this year that comes from us, another tradition, the Swedish tomt. Has anyone heard of this? The Swedish tomt. It's a house gnome. Yeah? Tomts are helpful, mischievous little folk believed to be the spirits of Swedish farmers long gone, like my ancestors. And I found this little bitty tomt wandering around in Brookside Gardens looking for a home. And when I told him about our church, you want to hold the gnome? You can pass our little tomt around. When I told him about our church on the grounds of what had been a farm, and how this church year we are going to be dreaming big while thinking small as we renovate our community building, he got so excited to come spend the year with us. So I will say, too, he doesn't remember anymore what his name is, so he's asked us to name him. And if you look way in the back on the tiny RE bulletin board, there's a place where you can vote for our gnome's name. It's a sticker voting system, so put a sticker next to the gnome name you like the best after the service. And over this year, we'll work together to decorate we're going to be getting him a gnome house for the back of the sanctuary. I have some folks hopefully picking that up this afternoon. And all over this year, we will decorate that. It's going to be our little mini art gallery, since we won't have our gallery space in the community building. Maybe we'll decorate it for the holidays. Maybe I'll build him a tiny pulpit. I don't know. It's going to be an adventure. Speaking of adventure, we're going to do a special ritual of hope in place of our usual joys and sorrows ritual. So this is an invitation. In a minute, we'll be singing, and as we sing, I'm going to invite you to come forward in this space, to leave your bag up on this table for the blessing earlier. That'll be happening a little later. So this is, while we sing, bring up your bag, and then over here, we have tiny... I love how excited we are. We have tiny acorns, and I'm going to invite you to take a tiny acorn, hold it in your hand for a minute, think about what you're hoping for, what you're committing for this year, and put it into the wooden acorn, and our gnome is going to look after these acorns of hope for us this year. If you need to tuck an acorn in your pocket, that is also okay, so you can tuck it in your pocket to take this service with you, or you can leave it for the gnome. And as always, there are candles over here and Bridget's well for if you need to light a candle or drop a stone into the well for whatever is on your heart or mind. So Michael, are you gonna, there we go.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love holding us. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. And again. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We rest in this love.
As we begin our time for centering and prayer and meditation, I light a candle in memory of Jan Harrelson, longtime member of this congregation, beloved spouse of Deb Weiner and mom to Lucy, and friend to so many here and in our wider communities. Jan died on Wednesday night, and she will be so deeply missed. A service in memory and celebration of her life will be held here on Friday, September 22nd at 11 a.m. Additional details have been shared with the congregation in an email. Our lives are full of grief as well as joy, and there is meaning and peace to be found in it all. I now invite us to breathe in and breathe out, noticing whatever feelings have bubbled up inside of us and staying present with them, staying present to ourselves, offering compassion to ourselves, compassion to our own hurting hearts. If you have suffered a deep loss in the last year, I invite you to stand or raise your hand if you wish during the silence so that we can bear witness to your grief. Let us now enter into a moment of quiet together, grateful for the sounds of life, especially young life, all around us. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breath of life. As we breathe in, we give thanks for the many blessings of life, for the star around which we travel, a tiny ecosystem on a small planet in the vastness of space. We give thanks for the oceans and rivers, the trees and mountains, the air and soil, all of the plants and animals, and other people with whom we are woven into the web of life. And we give thanks for the joys and milestones, celebrations, and good news within and among us today. As we breathe out, our thoughts and our hearts go out to those among and beyond us with sorrows and fears, regrets and griefs, deep griefs. When the weight of the world overwhelms us, when the challenges and difficulties of life make us wonder about the future, if there will be a future, when we worry about ourselves and others, when we feel small or weak, alone or afraid, let us lean into the power and strength of community, the web of life that holds us, the love we share here, love that never lets us go. Let us return to the breath of life, to the power and simplicity of this one moment, the only moment we are given. Let us return to the earth that grounds us and the sky that lifts us up. Let us rest in all that is possible when we embrace the new, when we offer up our gifts and service, when we are willing to follow wherever truth, love, and justice lead us. In the name of all that is holy, blessed be. Amen.
So now is the moment when we are going to bless these bags and backpacks, each of them unique, all of them welcome in this space, just as each of us is unique and our gathered diversity, our plurality is welcome. We also have special tags, which I was going to have us give out today, and unfortunately they are missing their keychains, which are in the mail to us, I am assured. So we're going to bless these tags today as we bless these bags, and then we'll give them out on Water Ritual Sunday in 2 weeks. So come back in 2 weeks and take your bag tag then. Also, we invite you to take an acorn with you in your pocket today to take the blessing of the service. So we also bless these acorns, I believe. So let us fill these bags and tags and acorns up with our blessings, our hopes, and our loving commitment. We will speak into this room these blessings, and we're going to invite you to add to them by saying, so we'll say a thing, and then we invite you to say blessings on these bags and backpacks. So let's practice saying blessings on these bags and backpacks together. Ready? Blessings on these bags and backpacks. Perfect.
May these bags and backpacks be sturdy and strong to last through the weeks and months of learning ahead, reminding us of our own strength, our own ability to carry what is heavy, whether it's grief or textbooks. May we remember as well that it is more than okay if someone helps us carry our bag or the things within it that weigh us down. We are capable, and we are here to help each other. Please say with me, blessings on these bags and backpacks.
Each day that we carry these bags, let us fill them up not just with the materials we need to get through the day, knitting or fidget toys for our hands, pens and papers to help us remember what we are learning, snacks to nurture our bodies, but also less tangible things like our shared commitment to the values of interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, all centered around love.
Each time we open these bags, may we remember to keep our minds and hearts open, to be willing to change as we encounter new information and new people and new situations. May we remember that part of how we love the world and our neighbors is by learning and growing and changing. May we be open as our bags open to do things differently. Blessing on these bags.
And may the weight of these bags remind us that we carry with us into each day not just our own courage and creativity and compassion, but the love and support of this religious community of learners and seekers. That we are loved and we can do hard things, and that we are not alone. Blessings on these bags and backpacks.
When things get tough, when the road ahead seems extra muddy and rough, may we look at these bags and take a moment to be present in our bodies. May we breathe in and breathe out, and remember that when we breathe in peace. And when we breathe out love. And when you get one of those little tags on Water Ceremony Sunday, you'll see that phrase written on one side. Blessing on these bags. This morning, we call down additional blessings on all the people who will be involved this year in religious education in our congregation in all of the forms that will take. All those who will help us to grow in compassion and character and commitment and faith. May the UU Church of Silver Spring be as much a home for growth and learning as it is a home for worship, service, and fellowship.
For now, we are going to leave these bags here as a reminder of these blessings. Please collect your bag, please do collect your bag at the end of the service, or have someone else collect it for you. And we're about to move into a time with a lot of talking and being still. So if anyone would like a fidget toy or a busy bag from the back of the room, oh, I think those got moved off the table, but they are back there. Yes, excellent. I see Persephone got one. Anyone else want a pollinator activity guide or a busy bag or a fidget toy? Now is a great time to get that.
Now we will foreshadow our final hymn, which is Woyaya, number 1020. I think we'll have the slide with the lyrics soon. There we are. There we go. Just one verse. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road, there it is, we muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. That's enough.
So the brilliant, there I am. The brilliant co-director of our UUA Lifespan Faith Development Office, Shannon Harper, said that this song, Woyaya, which was written by Ghanaian drummer Sol Emerfo, has been on her mind a lot over the last year or so as we all navigate this liminal pandemic time. Do you know the word liminal? Right, the in-between, it's kind of the threshold time, in between, the liminal. It's a fun word to say, liminal. 3 years ago, y'all, you may remember, we changed everything from how we do worship to how we provide pastoral care to each other, to how those of us on church staff do our jobs, all in the blink of an eye, right? All while experiencing a global crisis that brought grief, anxiety, and loneliness like some of us had never experienced before. Now, 3 years later, we have added exhaustion and confusion to the mix. Progress, she notes, feels slow, and answers about our future are elusive. Some days it feels like we're stuck in the mud and the messiness of the unknowing, stumbling over the rough parts of a road that's leading us in circles. We've taken to calling this time we're living in liminal, the in-between. To get to where we're going, she says, it's going to take imagination, creativity, and vision. So she offers us this story, because stories are a great way to get our imaginations going. So I don't know that it happened this way, but I do know that it's true that once upon a time, we were keepers of a garden. Pacific garden. The garden, as you understand, is like a metaphor, right, for our religious education programming, but also congregational life in general. And she wants us to consider what was beautiful and useful about our garden, what felt fertile and alive. Were there also parts that felt neglected, overgrown, messy, or underappreciated? Were there improvements that needed to be made? Was some of that soil getting tired, burned out? Who cared for the garden, and who spent time there? And then a great flood suddenly came upon our land, and we watched as the waters rose and covered our garden. And she asks us what we did when the pandemic came. What did you salvage? What did you have to let go of? How did you offer help? Where did you take refuge yourself? What new skills did you learn? Then the tenders of the garden found themselves in a liminal time, right? A liminal time we're still in. Now that the waters are receding, it's time to grieve the loss of our garden, survey the land, heal and prepare ourselves for the work of replanting. Shannon Harper asks, how are you making space for grief, healing, and introspection? What are you noticing as you move through this time? What feels muddy and rough? This is a time to name griefs, emotions, anxieties, worries, as well as the positive noticings. In the future, our garden won't look exactly like the one before because we are changed and our land is changed. But we know it can be everything we need. She asks us what we want our community, especially our pieces of it devoted to spiritual growth, to look like in the future. What old and new values aspects are important to include in this new design? Who do you want to visit this garden or make a home there? Who will share in the care and upkeep of it? Are there other gardens or lands you want to connect to? Are there skills, materials, or tools that need to be acquired in order to make this vision a reality? So these are some of the questions that we are dwelling in, because of course we're not in the future yet, right? We're in that liminal, muddy space, right? As a congregation, we're very literally going to be in that this year as we continue closing down parts of our campus for renovation, and we're literally planting new gardens, right? We're literally going to be in the dirt. And we are hoping that this can be an opportunity to rest in this liminal place. Shannon Harper ends her story with a prayer, saying, as we move down this rough and muddy road on our way to what we can only imagine, may we be gentle with ourselves and one another, and may we embrace unknowing as an invitation to dream and imagine what could be. So this year, we've assembled a special religious education task force to look into what is best for us as a congregation this year when it comes to RE programming, and to think about the future in new ways. So we've been meeting with Megan Foley, who's our Unitarian Universalist Association regional person, who actually comes from this congregation and has a special deep love for this congregation and its RE programs. She keeps telling us that we've been doing too much RE programming. Every time I talk to her, she's like, could you just pull it back some more? Because we've not been allowing the soil in our metaphorical garden to rest. And she's urging us to use this year when we are so limited by space to rest and reset, to do less so that we can show up for each other more, so that we can prepare for the future of this congregation and religious education. And to think about things differently. What can be RE if we approach it that way? What can be spiritual growth if we approach it that way? So we're thinking about how can worship be religious education, right? How can our welcoming committee be part of how we do all of this? We're thinking, what does it mean to do religious education, to do spiritual growth? And she's urging us to think about it like the grass down at the Smithsonian Mall. When you go down to the mall, and the landscape, and you'll see always the landscape team has roped off a different piece of grass, right? To let that area rest and recover. She's pointing out that our garden needs that too. So if we look at our slide, right, liminal time again, we see what Shannon Harper talking about illustrated here, that we're letting a big chunk of our metaphorical garden rest and recover, and we're using parts of it being intentional about doing things differently, moving differently, using our space differently. Our UUA staff, from the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt all the way through the staff, are reminding us that while we're anxious to get back to normal, to start all of our programs again and gain ground that we've lost. We are changed. Our communities are changed. The same formulas and landscaping we used prior to the pandemic are not necessarily going to work now. It's going to take time, patience, and experimenting to learn how to create these new gardens we're dreaming about. And we saw that, right? Last congregational year, we tried to do so much, and it didn't really work. So good things happened last year, and I'm so grateful for everyone who made all of those things happen. But we really saw that we are still exhausted and confused and burned out, and all of us are working on limited capacity, more so than we did in the past. We keep trying to push through, and we keep finding that all of us are tired and exhausted and burned out and overwhelmed and grieving, right? We weren't ready to do as much as we did last year. It's not what we needed. We need to reset and rethink, be creative and kind with each other. So my tagline for this year when I'm thinking about programming is dreaming big while thinking small, hence the whole gnome thing, right? Trying to do things somewhat literally because sometimes that's helpful. And to be playful. It's so important that we are playful this year. We're going to experiment with a one-room schoolhouse for our kids and youth so we can make sure that there are always 2 background-checked, unmarried, unrelated adults with our kids at all times, right? We're really making sure there are safety policies, that we are beyond the up and up with them this year. Safety is always our number one priority. And we're going to experiment with thinking about that time when our kids head to the fellowship house or wherever they're going to that day as children and youth worship breakout groups. And I think we're also going to experiment with doing some different breakout groups for all ages, right? Because worship is this thing we do together, and sometimes it's good to take our bodies in other spaces as well. Your religious education task force, y'all, has so many good ideas and perspectives and experience and wisdom. I am so grateful for these things they've already recommended, like the one-room schoolhouse concept. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for all the ways we're going to have fun and connect and grow in meaningful and sustainable ways this year. All of us are stewards of our garden, and all of us are welcome in this garden we are creating together. And you all deserve rest and joy and beauty. So as Shannon Harper says, what if we saw this time between active crises, i.e. March 2020, and whatever landscape our congregational life will become as a gift, as a time to slow down, assess, process our trauma and grief, and do the necessary healing to be the vibrant, healthy, and life-affirming beacons of Unitarian Universalism we envision our congregations to be? What if the theology of liminal time was about connection, play, healing, and forgiveness? May we forgive ourselves and each other again and again.
The offering invitation reads as follows. As Reverend Heather Christensen writes, Unitarian Universalism is a grand vision of a world filled with peace, justice, love, and joy. That vision is embodied in a few large congregations, some mid-sized congregations, and many, many smaller congregations. No matter its size, every congregation depends on each of its members, each one of you. Each one of you, by your commitment and time, energy, resources, whatever and however you help out, that all helps to make the grand vision real. Individually and together, we are building a world indeed filled with peace, justice, love, and joy. Take a look at your screen. There are lots of ways to make a gift to UUCSS to help make that grand vision of our faith and the vision of the congregation real. If you are here in person, you can place your offering in the plates as they are passed around. The offering will now be gratefully passed out and received.
I walked through fire, I came out the other side. I chased desire, I made sure I got what's mine. And I continue to believe that I'm the one for me. And because I'm mine, I walk the line. 'Cause we're adventurers and heartbreaks our map, a final destination we lack. We stopped asking directions to places they've never been. To be loved, we need to be known. We finally found our way back home. Through the joy and pain that our lives bring, we can do hard things. I hit rock bottom, it felt like a brand new start. I'm not the problem, that sometimes things fall apart. And I continue to believe the best people are free. And it took some time, but I'm finally fine. 'Cause we're adventurers and heartbreaks our map, a final destination we lack. We stopped asking directions to places they've never been. To be loved, we need to be known. We finally found our way back home. Through the joy and pain that our lives bring, we can do hard things. Cause we're adventurers and heartbreaks our map, a final destination we lack. We stopped asking directions to places they've never been. To be loved, we need to be known. We finally found our way back home. Through the joy and pain that our lives bring, we can do hard things. Yeah, we can do hard things. We can do hard things.
Oh, I didn't know there Good morning. My name is Emily Harris, and I'm a member of the board. I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. We gather in person and on Zoom for worship every Sunday morning here at UUCSS. But our church is not only the organization that puts together these services. We are a vibrant collective of volunteers and staff. We are part of the wider Silver Spring community. We are a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association and part of the global UU denomination. Today we have two announcements. First, Unitarian Universalists all over the world agree our sexuality education program, Our Whole Lives, is one of the most important things we do as Unitarian Universalists, if not the most important thing we do, as we talked about in a service a couple of weeks ago. Some of our OWL instructors aren't able to help out this year after all, so we're still looking for a few folks to get trained. We're so grateful that this congregation has set aside money for these trainings. It's a big commitment, and it matters so much that we do this. Thank you to those who have already agreed to rise to this challenge, and please let our RE coordinator, Sarah, know by emailing recoordinator@uucss.org if you can help out. And just a reminder, the next few Sundays are all ages services. We'll be starting our children and youth worship breakout groups again on September 17th. Please talk to Sarah or Reverend Caitlin about getting involved. Thank you.
One extra announcement today. Next Sunday, September 3rd, I know it's over Labor Day weekend and many of you may be out of town, but for those who are in town, our service is going to be extra special. We have two members of the Montgomery County Educators Association Board who are going to be joining us for worship. And in place of a traditional sermon, we will be having a conversation together. During the service, I'll be posing some questions and they'll be answering them. And this is a way that we as a congregation can explore some of the different ways that we can show up in our community in ways that matter, and particularly with other organizations and their work that intersect with our own mission and purpose. So I hope that you'll come next Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Finally, I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in the words of chalice extinguishing as Brian extinguishes our chalice. Please join me in the words on the screen. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. And I invite you to remain risen as we sing our closing hymn, Wo Ya Ya.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know within. It will be hard, we know. How we will get there, but we know it. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. Get there, heaven knows how we we will. The last section. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Please be seated. Friends, the road ahead may be muddy and rough, but we can connect and play, heal and forgive as we continue learning and growing into the future. Take the blessing of this service out into your week and remember the kindness and strength, love and courage you may have found here. We can do hard things, even when that means doing things differently. I have faith in us and in the blessing we will receive and share in the year ahead. Our worship now has ended and our service begins.
I am kind. I'll be your friend, will you be mine? I can share a smile, I am kind. I am brave. I do it though I feel afraid. I can do the hard things, I am brave. And I wrap my arms around myself in a great big hug. I am loved.
I am loved. I am wise. I am wise. Solving problems that arise, finding new solutions. I am wise. I am strong. I'm okay when things go wrong. I can do it. I am strong.
And I wrap my arms around myself in a great big hug. I am loved.
I am loved.
Oh, I am loved.
I
am loved.
Thank you, Audrey.